Bodybuilding is the use of progressive resistance exercise to control and develop one's muscles for aesthetic purposes. And we all know what to do to succeed in getting the summer beach body, right? In 2020, I wanted to have a body like this one, but I couldn't, probably because of COVID-19. Hey, don't worry if you couldn't make it also. Next summer, we will both make it happen. Or the year after. You know what the worst is about still having this one and not that body? That I knew how to get that body, and so do you. Let's make it simple. Could you choose from the two following pictures which one shows what I had to do to get the body my wife would prefer for me? Remember, 2 pictures, 2 behaviors, 1 dream result. Pick one. 1 or 2? It is 1 for sure. I had to hit the gym, but 2 is easier, especially for nerds. And what about if you want a fat-free body? Can you pick which of the following 2 diet pictures will take you there? Is it 1 or 2? Right? We all know it is number 2, but my friends, number 1 is very, very, very tasty. So again, the choice is not so easy. But we do know which path we should take if we want to go one way or the other. When it comes to our bodies, we know. But what about if you are also after a long-lasting, capable brain? Something closer to the brain here. In that case, our options are not so popular anymore. Options 1 and 2 are not clear. Wait, I know what some of you are thinking. Profe, who cares about the brain if we have the body, right? But hey, good news, you don't have to choose when you can have both. Now that we know what to do to have stronger bodies and healthier hearts, the big question is it possible to work out for a better brain? Let me tell you what I know about that topic in this video. What is brain building? Short answer, brain building is a word I made up. But let's try to elaborate. If bodybuilding is the use of progressive resistance exercise to control and develop one's muscles for aesthetic purposes, then brain building could be the use of challenging cognitive training to nurture and remodel one's brain for intelligent purposes, or something like that. But is brain building possible? You can bet it is. For a long time, we thought this structure, our most important organ, the one that defines who we are, was immutable. Once you lost some piece of it, or once some structures there were missing, the damage would not only be clear in your behavioral output, but also irreversible. There was no way to rebuild it. We were so wrong. Please, let me give you 3 examples of extreme brain building. Example 1. This image shows a sagittal view of the normal brain, okay? With all its areas. If any structure would be missing, we would see a black area where there is no brain tissue, okay? Take a look here. The whole cerebellum is missing. And if you ask, Profe, what is the big deal with the cerebellum? Well, you need to know that the cerebellum contains more than half the neurons in the brain. Did you copy that? This woman was living for 24 years already without ever knowing that she had her cerebellum missing. A clear case of how the brain will rebuild itself and compensate for missing structures, even if there are huge parts of the brain. Example 2. Take a look at this coronal view of the normal brain. Well, very unfortunately for some people with horrifying seizures, the only way out is to remove one full half of the brain, like in that image. If that procedure occurs early in childhood, the brain will rebuild itself to make it for the missing half and to bring life back to normal within a few years. This organ is resilient. #neuroplasticity. One last extreme example. Brain here in axial and sagittal views. And in the next one, about 70% of the brain is gone. And that man was still living a normal life. Now, imagine what all of us can do with a whole working brain. Especially if we practice brain building. Then we will be living by the maxim, Mens sana in corpore sano. Pause. Better to have our disclaimers out of the way before sharing a few ideas about how to practice brain building. Number one, even when this is only our opinion, it is shared by most other scientists. Number two, practice our suggestions with caution. These are not medical advices. And number three, please find relevant links in the description below, which we always encourage you to check. If we want to discuss brain building, it is better to have a working definition. This one may be useful for us. Brain building is the use of challenging sensory, motor, and cognitive training to strengthen and remodel one's brain for a resourceful living. If you ask me to emphasize only one of these words, it will be challenging. Guys, it is not about using our brain, it's about challenging our brain. Chances are your and my brain powers are going down, like our muscles and our bodies are going down. Yes, they are. When we diet and work out for our bodies, we challenge our bodies to fight against aging. Well, the same applies to our brains. They are aging also, with the difference that our brains are in charge of almost everything in our bodies, including our muscles. You want me to list a few of the main areas your brain is in charge of right now, on which you want your brain doing a good job for as many years as possible? Here they go. Sensory experience, how we perceive the world around us. Motor control, how we move and interact with our world. Body function, how we breathe, how we digest, how we sweat, how we pump blood. Learning and memory, how we learn what we learn and how we forget everything we can't remember. Language and socialization, how we communicate and interact with our friends, children, and all other human beings. So, what to do to challenge and train our brains in these areas? For the rest of the video, we want to share a few suggestions for brain building. To strengthen brain areas involved in our sensory experience, we could go watch a powerful and thought-provoking movie. Listen to a full-bodied and rich music. Innovate in the kitchen and expand our palate. Hashtag be creative with your senses. To keep busy those brain areas in charge of motor control, some ideas here. Practice a somehow thrilling and difficult sport, but avoid danger and seek for supervision whenever possible. Learn and refine your kinesthetic control. Okay, if there is too much danger in some of those for you, then try something with less adrenaline. For example, go practice your hand-eye coordination, reaction time, reflexes, and spatial awareness with a little bit of juggling. But do something new and challenging for you. The more you challenge your body with new motor experiences, the more you are pushing your brain to stay young. And that's the whole point behind bodybuilding, workouts, and brain building. Mens sana in corpore sano. For rebuilding your brain when it comes to its job, coordinating body functions, levels of metabolites in blood, temperature regulation, body fluids, breathing, heart rate, etc., etc., etc. It is a good idea to rethink your diet if you need to. As good as that is having regular good nights of sleep. Give me a second. Hey Bobby, you told me you have some advice for our friends? My friend Bobby, everybody. What is that? Sex? You are so right, my friend. Thank you, Bobby. There you have it, everybody. A good piece of advice from Bobby to keep your brain at maximum potential. Starting tonight. Learning and memory. You can learn and practice chess. Today is all for free. What about challenging yourself and your brain with learning a musical instrument? Or one more simple for our memory. Try to navigate around your city without GPS. I have to work on that one especially. A few final ideas for language and socialization. A good book. We can all start with a good book to read. Less social media, more books. Harder to do, but way better for the brain. More challenge, learn a new language. Again, for free. Y si uno de los idiomas que no has aprendido es el inglés, ojalá que este sea un nuevo incentivo para aprenderlo. Ya no es solo para comunicarte mucho más fácil con Bowie y con el mundo entero, como nos gusta hacer a los latinos y a las latinas. Ahora es para mantener tu cerebro en buena forma. And the last piece of advice is to have good friends and keep the socials. They are invaluable for our mental health. As soon as COVID-19 let us do it, run to your friends again. Guys, the best about us is our diversity. And we know that many of you do different things to keep your brain in its best possible shape. Could you please share with us in the comments the one thing you do to improve your brain power? The top one in your practice of brain building? Is it meditation, dancing, writing, coding? Your inputs could benefit many others looking for alternatives to keep their mental health. Now guys, if you practice brain building and become an example in that area for your children, you would feel awesome. Oh God, I wish I could have a visual for my friends to know how I imagine that feeling. Okay, I don't have it, but I know you will know the feeling I'm talking about if you go practice brain building with your family. And I will finish here with one literal quote from someone you already know, the science righteous champion, Santiago Ramón y Cajal. Every man could be, if he sets his mind, a sculpture of his own brain. Guys, see you next week. And please stay safe and God bless you.